Humor with heart, ways to tickle your funny bone without breaking someone else's. We know the adage, laughter is the best medicine. Anne Lamott says, laughter is carbonated holiness. Is all laughter healthful and holy? We'll be exploring that as we go through some spiritual practices to promote healthful and happy humor. Hi, I'm Dr. K.P. McKee, founder and executive director of A Spacious Place Creativity and Spirituality Center. As we go through today's project, we would love to hear from you. We welcome your questions and comments. You can just post them in the comments box on your screen. Also, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's practice, and I will take you through the supplies you're going to need. First of all, some 8.5 by 11, all the same size is the main thing. Fairly stiff, light colored paper. I have white cardstock here. That's great for this. A pair of scissors. It would help to have a ruler and a pencil with an eraser. You are also going to need something for binding, which could be yarn and a hole punch, binding rings and a hole punch, or if you have it, a binding machine like this with the binding rings, or a stapler and some staples. Then you're going to want something that you can draw with, and that would include some markers like we have right here, crayons, maybe some colored pencils. Up to you, whatever you happen to have around your house. So we're going to start off today with the humor of the absurd. And the absurd humor is the kind that we can access even from our infancy. And its absurdity is about the unexpected, the silly, the nonsensical. So if you can get the attention of an infant and waggle your eyebrows or your ears or curl your tongue, in time, if you can get that infant's attention, probably the infant will respond with a full-bodied laugh. The legs churn and the arms pump and the face breaks out in just joy. And if you're lucky, you might even give a gurgle or a chortle as well. The laughter of the absurd is something we can enjoy at all stages of our life and do no harm to anyone. Today's practice is something that we got from a game that we played with our children when they were preschoolers. And it's called Scrambled Legs. I don't even know if it's still available. You can tell that it's been loved for many, many years. And it has the feet of creatures and the heads of creatures here. And sometimes they match like this time, and sometimes they don't. And that's kind of what we have in mind for this particular book that we're going to make. So to make this book, the first thing you're going to do is you want to take a page and you're going to divide it into two pieces, with one piece being slightly smaller than the other one. This one I did 6 inches up from the bottom. You decide, and the main thing with this is however many pages you want in your book, you want them all to be divided the same way, the same distance up from the bottom, and then you want a horizontal pencil line across the top. Then you're going to create some animals to go in your book, and it's best if they are facing forward when you draw them, and you want the head above the line and the body and feet, if there are feet, below the line. Keep it really simple. To get ideas, you can look at children's books, at coloring books, and free online resources for clip art and that sort of thing. And you can do this with your child, and this is one of the fun things. So either your child can help you with the drawing or your child can help you with the coloring, whichever they would be most enjoy doing. As you begin, you want to be sure that your child knows that this book is going to be cut apart, and that cutting it apart is part of the fun, so that they know right from the beginning that that is going to happen and it's not traumatic later on. So then after you have drawn it and outlined it, you're going to want to just color it in. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with this one that I started. Alright, so I'm going to finish up my little guy here. Give him a nice patch over his eye. And then I'm going to color his ears here. So this can be an activity you do together as a family, and maybe you can pick some animals that are personal favorites of different members of your family to make into this book. So we're getting to be creative in addition to having a good laugh here at the end. And I'm going to change up my brown colors here a little bit and finish him off. That sounded more violent than I intended. As you can see, I outlined with felt tip marker and then colored in with crayon. So you can do a mixed media kind of thing with this and explore how different media work on the page. Okay, thank you for your patience watching all that coloring. So this page is now ready to join its friends. And so I have some ones that I have already done here. Just to give you some ideas. And then you're going to want to, if you are doing either your yarn in the or the binding rings, you're going to want to punch holes, and you want them to be the same distance apart. And you're going to want several holes because you're going to be cutting this into two pieces, and you want that to work. So I'm going to finish off here with these last two and punch these holes. Alright, now this is going to be the back, just plain, and we're not going to draw any lines across the back or the front. But for the front, you want to make yourself a cover. So I just did a simple cover here, and you can do this with some children and they can have a blast doing that, maybe drawing some silly animals on the front. Then I'm going to use yarn here because that's something that most all of us have available. And I like to start in the middle with things like this. It makes it easier, and also when you use the yarn, you want to give it a little extra give. Don't tighten it real tight because you're going to want to be able to open these pages up. And I liked using this yarn that's different colors because we're going to be doing animals of different types, so it just seemed to be appropriate. I like to do the center and then the ends, and then work in from there. Makes it simpler. Also, if you're doing this with a young child, you can always put some tape on the end of the yarn to make it easier to string through. It's like having a needle right there attached. And last one. All right, so after we have done that, we're now going to cut apart the pages that we drew on the lines there that we have done. And see, this is what I'm talking about with it needing to give you a little extra give with that. And these would make great gifts for children too. Let me be sure I got that all the way cut. And this is why we prepare children ahead of time for the fact that we're going to cut these apart. And of course, this can be as many pages as you all feel inspired to make. It could be a project that's done over time. This is also an opportunity to teach the word chimera, which is sometimes a monstrous entity, but also just simply means animals that have one type of animal at one part of their body and another part of animal at the other. So these can be chimera books too. And our last friend here, our dog. Okay, now we are going to mix up heads and bodies to make silly things. So we like to add a little extra humor to this by creating the name of what these chimeras would be. So this would be a crog, right?
No, frog or dog. It didn't work.
That one didn't work. Let's try another one. All right, let's see.
There.
So this would be, yes, this would be a cog or a dowel. All right, so we have...
It's a lion.
That's our lion. So a scion or a lot. Let's do one more.
Actually, a lat.
Lat, you're right, a lat. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, lat. Let's
see a ladder.
Okay, we haven't done this one yet. So let's see. All right, this would be a dig or a pog, right?
Right.
So we would love for you all to make one of these. I'm going to leave this one open to this page. And let us know what kind of names you come up with for your animals. And we'd love a picture too. If you have liked this, if you found it helpful, please like us on Facebook. You can also rewatch on Facebook, on YouTube, or on our website, www.aspaciousplace.com. And we'll be back at this same time next week with another opportunity to have humor with heart, tickling our funny bone without breaking someone else's. So let's close with prayer. You are a God who created the duck-billed platypus, a child named Laughter, and each one of us who has the capacity to giggle, to chortle, and to belly laugh. Author of holy and healthful humor, we give you thanks with a mile-wide grin. Amen.
Bye, Gina.